Squash Chief here. We are live Monday to Saturday from 2 to 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Today I wanted to go into 5 decks that I think are the best decks to be playing right now in Modern. And this is my personal opinion on them based on power level, where I'd rank them, how I would choose to pick up which deck for a tournament, being 1 being my top pick, 5 being I would play it, but the other ones are above it. So kind of like that. It's like a ranking. But these are the 5 that I would go with. At number 5, we have Simic Titan. It's been a very strong deck that has consistency with Elvis Reclaimer. Uh, no. At number 5, we have Simic Titan. It's been a very consistent deck that utilizes Uro to ramp up with your Ghost Spirals and Uros and then win by Field of the Dead. You have your Chalices to be able to stop a bunch of pesky decks utilizing either 1-drops or 0-drops. A lot of decks in the current meta are not able to deal with Field of the Dead, which is a big thing. And then prime time, once it resolves, is pretty much game just over. And then Our Promise is just your 5 mana prime time. You're pretty much just ramping up to get to Field of Dead as fast as possible, then utilizing the back of Uro to just have an insane end game. Sideboard, just basic bread and butter, being able to answer whatever you need to, whether it's Ashiok or land destruction. But yeah, definitely my 5th rated deck for what I'd be playing in a tournament. And then at number 4, we have Team Returns, which has been putting up great numbers lately, being able to utilize time warps with your ramp, and then being able to have an end game where you just Tameo upticking to cast Arrow from the graveyard, and then you just boom, 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 swing 6, swing 6, swing 6. And if they answer it, you just cast it again. Nothing too crazy, a little bit of removal. Sideboard, same thing, a little bit of protection. From their Ashioks, you have Veil Summers, and then Renin 6, one of the best Planeswalkers ever printed. Something I would definitely pick up. This one doesn't utilize Field of the Dead, but it does utilize being able to just take multiple turns over and over. It uses Mystic Sanctuary to give you the advantage that you seek. It gives you Mystic Sanctuary to get that advantage that you need to be able to cast Time Warp over and over and over, whether it be with Tameo, picking it back up, or Cryptic looping. At number 3, we have Sultai Uro. Pretty good. Instead of bolts this time, we're using fatal pushes, a little bit better removal. We still have our Tamios and our Nexus of Fate instead of our 5 mana time warps. We go a little bit more defensive, but our late game, I would say, is a little bit worse, but you have better removal to answer a lot more things in the format because Death Shadow is very important. But pretty much same thing. You just ramp up, hold your counters, and then Uro endgame Wilderness Wreck to be able to loop your Factor Fictions, so you can be able to flip over the Uro whether you're going to cast it or put it in your graveyard to cast the next turn. And in a number 2 spot, we have Earl Omnath, a deck that has been dominating a lot of tournaments lately. Utilizes the endgame combo of Feldar Guardian with Saheeli Rai. And then if that doesn't get you there, you always have Feel of Dead to be able to have a great late game. Or you are using Earl to help ramp you. So that is also an insane late game engine. You have the Broken Renin 6, and you have Omnath to be able to ramp you as well into a fun up Primeval Titan. But you're basically answering whatever they do. All your stuff is a 2-for-1. And then you have a combo kill, but then you also have all these creatures, which are basically 2-for-1s, that let you have such an insane late game that if people aren't killing you early, you're going to take over from the mid to late. And then for my number 1 pick, I have 5-color Earl. I mean, Niv Mizzet. I think Niv Mizzet is the deck I would take to any tournament. You know, more colors, better deck. That's always been my opinion. It utilizes Earl, but not as much as the other decks. You have Niv Mizzet, and if that fails, you have your fallbacks of all your answers. But you have pretty much an insane late game. You have Field of Dead, pretty much what every top deck needs. And more colors is my personal choice for why I would pick this deck, because if you're going to go greedy, go full greed. But yeah, that's my top 5. If you guys haven't picked up, I think you just playing Earl. I think that's what the top 5 Martin is. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Be sure to like and subscribe. And for my number 4 pick, I have Temur Uro.